My wife told her coworkers. We were in a Lavender marriage and introduced me as her roommate, so I served her divorce papers and watched her lose her mind. Sup Reddit. Imagine your wife spending months telling her coworkers you're just her gay roommate who helps split rent. You know, to seem interesting and progressive at work events. Nothing says happily married quite like that. Grab something to eat because this gets wild. I married Soraya when I was 35 and she was 32. We dated for 3 years after meeting at some mutual friend's barbecue, where she'd spent most of the afternoon telling everyone about her new sales position and how she was going to make six figures within 2 years. Standard middle-class setup. Decent jobs, house in the suburbs with a mortgage that made me wince every month, two cars that ran most of the time. Nothing fancy, but solid. I paid the mortgage, property taxes, homeowner's insurance. She paid for groceries and her car payment. Seemed fair enough at the time. Soraya worked in corporate sales. Big firm downtown with glass offices and too many middle managers. Lots of client dinners and networking events that somehow always ran late. I worked in logistics management for a manufacturing company. Different worlds, different hours. We did our thing during the week, reconnected on weekends. Seemed healthy enough. Independent adults who chose to be together rather than needed to be together. Except for the ring. First time I noticed was about 6 months after the wedding. She'd take off her wedding band for work stuff. Not every time, but enough that I started paying attention. Came home early one night around 7 and caught her getting ready for some client dinner. Ring sitting on the bathroom counter next to her lipstick like it was no big deal. Just another accessory she was deciding whether to wear. I called her out right there. Asked why she kept doing that. She got quiet for a second, looked at the ring, then back at me. Said yeah, she hadn't realized she was doing it that much. Apologized. Slipped it back on right there, kissed me, told me she loved me. Made me feel like an idiot for even mentioning it. Like I was being insecure and controlling over nothing. I started feeling like nagging would do more damage than whatever she was doing. Then her company threw their annual client party. Soraya spent 2 hours getting ready because this event supposedly mattered for her career advancement. She tried on 3 different dresses, redid her makeup twice, spent 40 minutes on her hair. Big hotel downtown, couple hundred people, refreshments and catering, those little appetizers on silver trays that never fill you up, the whole networking circus. I wasn't thrilled about going, but I was her husband, so I showed up, wore a decent suit, planned to stand around making small talk for a few hours, then bail. The venue was one of those ballrooms with too many chandeliers. Salespeople everywhere with forced smiles. Soraya disappeared into the crowd within 5 minutes. I grabbed something from the refreshment table and posted up near the food. I was checking scores on my phone when this woman walked up. Late 30s, friendly smile. Looked vaguely familiar. Introduced herself as Briar from the marketing department. Said she'd seen me around at a few company events. You must be Soraya's husband. I've heard about you. Standard opening. I shook her hand, made the usual pleasantries. Then she dropped it. So I just have to ask, and I hope this doesn't sound weird, but would you maybe want to grab coffee sometime? I'm always looking for a good shopping buddy. Someone like you, if you know what I mean. I stared at her. What? Briar's smile got bigger. Soraya mentioned you two have kind of a Lavender marriage thing going on. That you're basically roommates splitting bills. I think that's so progressive, honestly. And I figured maybe you and I could hang out. I love having guy friends who can help me pick outfits. My wife had been telling her coworkers our marriage was fake, that I was gay, that we were roommates with a financial arrangement. This wasn't gossip from one person. She'd been saying this multiple times, to multiple people. I kept my face blank. She said that. Yeah, like a month ago at an after-work gathering. She talks about how you two are perfect companions but live totally separate lives. Super modern. I respect it. Briar paused, completely oblivious to the fact that she'd just nuked my entire evening. Where is she anyway? I excused myself, walked away nice and calm, got a glass of soda just to have something in my hands, scanned the room until I found her. There she was, across the space talking to some guy in an expensive suit. He had that desperate energy, leaning in too close, laughing too loud at whatever she was saying. She was eating it up, smiling, performing, not wearing her ring. I walked over. Direct path, calm steps. Soraya saw me coming and her smile brightened, like she was actually happy to see me. Hey babe, this is Dax, he's with... I looked at Dax first, made sure my voice carried to the group of coworkers standing 6 feet away. Just so you know, we're actually married. Legally. With vows and everything. Not roommates. Dax took a step back, like I just told him the floor was lava. I turned to Soraya. Her smile was gone, face going pale. Funny thing happened. Your coworker already filled me in on our living arrangement. Apparently, you've been telling people we're roommates for about a month now, that I'm your gay best friend who helps pay rent. Wait, she started. We're done. I kept my tone professional, like I was ending a business contract. You wanted to pretend you're single. You are now. I'll talk to a lawyer Monday. The co-workers weren't even pretending not to listen anymore. One woman had her mouth open. Dax looked like he wanted to teleport to another dimension. Soraya's eyes went wide. You're going to file? Monday morning. Figured if you're telling people we're roommates, might as well make it official. I walked away. Didn't look back. Didn't wait for a response. Just left like I was leaving any other business meeting. Behind me, I heard her voice, not calling after me, talking to her coworkers. Guys, I'm so sorry you had to see that. It's just a misunderstanding. She was apologizing to them, to her colleagues, not to me. Worried about her professional image, not her marriage. I drove home and immediately pulled up divorce attorneys in my area. Sent inquiry forms to 3 firms. Got responses within the hour. Scheduled a consultation for Monday morning at 10. My phone started buzzing around midnight. Text from Soraya asking where I went. Then asking if I was seriously leaving her at her work event. Then accusing me of embarrassing her in front of her boss. I blocked her number and went to bed. Slept better than I had in months. Soraya came home around midnight. I heard her car in the driveway. Front door opening. Heels clicking on the hardwood floor. She walked into the kitchen where I was making tea. Dropped her purse on the table. Are you going to explain what that was about? I turned around. Leaned against the counter. Nothing to explain. You told your coworkers our marriage is fake. I corrected the record. She kicked off her heels. It was a joke. You made this huge scene over a joke. Multiple people knew this story. You've been telling it for a month. That's not a joke. That's your version of reality. You're blowing this completely out of proportion. I crossed my arms. You stood in front of your colleagues and called our marriage an arrangement. Said we're roommates splitting expenses. While I was there supporting you. How's that out of proportion? Everyone makes up stories to seem interesting at work. It's not that deep. And calling your marriage fake makes you interesting. It makes me different. It shows I'm not some basic suburban wife stuck in a routine, that I'm open-minded and progressive and not defined by traditional roles, that I'm my own person with my own identity. I just stared at her, let the silence hang there for a few seconds. So being married to me is basic. That's not what I said. That's exactly what you said. You literally just said being a married suburban wife is boring and basic. That's what I am to you. Boring. Basic. Something you need to lie about to seem interesting. She exhaled through her nose, looked at the ceiling like she was praying for patience. This is ridiculous. I'm not doing this tonight. I'm exhausted and you're being overly dramatic about everything, making mountains out of molehills like you always do. She walked past me toward the stairs. I stayed in the kitchen listening to her heels click across the floor. Then I heard her voice from the hallway. Casual, dismissive. Honestly, stop being so pathetic. I'm stuck with you and you're stuck with me, so get over yourself. I walked to the stairs. What did you just say? She turned around slowly, annoyed I was still talking. You heard me. You're being pathetic about this whole thing. I made one comment to some coworkers, and you're acting like I committed murder. We're married. That means you're stuck with me whether you like it or not. So either grow up and deal with it, or keep whining about your hurt feelings. Either way, I'm not apologizing for being interesting. Something in my chest went cold. Pack a bag. You're leaving tonight. Her face changed. Then she laughed. Actually laughed. Oh, please. What are you gonna do? You need me. We both know you're not going anywhere. You're too comfortable, too weak. So stop with the threats and accept this is how things are. This marriage is over. You made that clear. She came down 3 steps. Got in my face. You're not ending anything. You're going to calm down, realize you overreacted, and tomorrow we're moving on like adults. That's what people do. They deal with their problems instead of running. I pulled out my phone, opened the voice recorder, hit record. Soraya, I'm asking you to leave my home. You're not welcome here. Do you understand? You wouldn't dare. I kept the phone between us. I've made every mortgage payment on this house for 4 years. Every property tax bill, every repair. You've contributed nothing financially. That makes you a guest. And right now, I'm telling you to leave. You have 30 minutes to pack a bag. Her face went white. You're bluffing. 25 minutes. Fine. I'll go stay with Greta tonight. But you're going to regret this. You hear me? When you wake up tomorrow and realize what a massive mistake you made, I'm going to remember this. I'm going to remember how you humiliated me. 20 minutes. She grabbed her purse, stomped toward the stairs. You're nothing without me. Nothing. And when you come crawling back, don't expect me to be waiting. I stayed at the bottom of the stairs. Phone still recording. She was back down in less than 5 minutes with an overnight bag. Mascara running down her face. You're making the biggest mistake of your life. Goodbye, Soraya. She stopped at the door, turned back. When you realize how wrong you are about this, don't bother calling. I won't answer. I won't answer. Noted. The door slammed hard enough to shake the windows. I stood in the quiet for a full minute, stopped the recording, saved it, backed it up to cloud storage and 2 external drives, poured a glass of water. 4 years. Done. And I felt about 50 pounds lighter. Monday morning, I was in the attorney's office at 10 sharp. I walked him through everything. The party, the roommate comment, Soraya calling me pathetic. The recording. He nodded along, made notes. Pretty straightforward case. No kids, which simplifies things. House is in your name only. You'll keep it outright since you made every payment. We can file based on irreconcilable differences. How long does this take? Depends on cooperation. If she contests, could be 6 months. If she signs off, we can move faster. I'd estimate 3 to 4 months minimum. What about assets? House stays with you. You've got proof of every payment. Bank accounts get divided unless you can prove separate contributions. Cars stay with whoever's name is on the title. Pretty clean split overall. When do papers get served? I'll draw up the papers. We can serve her by end of week. She's staying at my sister's place. Most of her stuff is still at my house, though. That's fine. We'll include provisions for her to collect belongings within 30 days. Standard procedure. We went over details. Asset division. The house was mine, but I had records proving I'd made every payment. Bank accounts would get split unless I could prove separate contributions. Cars stayed with whoever's name was on the title. I signed the retainer agreement. Wrote a check that made my stomach drop a little. Shook his hand. Papers got served to Soraya at Greta's place on Thursday. My attorney called to confirm she'd signed for them. Now we waited for her response. Friday morning, my phone rang. Unknown number. Almost didn't answer. Hello? You actually did it. Soraya's voice, angry and shaking. You actually filed. Yeah. You're insane. Throwing away 4 years over one party. I'm ending 4 years because you publicly humiliated me, called me pathetic, and told me you're stuck with me. You don't respect me. Never did. I'm done pretending that's acceptable. This is ridiculous. We can work this out. There's nothing to work out. You made your position clear. I'm responding accordingly. She tried different tactics. Anger, tears, bargaining. I shut down every attempt. Eventually, she hung up. The weekend was quiet. She stayed at Greta's. I stayed at the house. No contact except angry texts I ignored. She threatened to come get her stuff. Said she was bringing Greta and I better not try to stop her. Monday evening, 1 week after I'd first met with my attorney, she showed up with Greta. They loaded boxes. Didn't say much. I watched from the window to make sure nothing that belonged to me left with them. Greta was my sister, older by 3 years. We'd never been close. She'd spent the last 15 years bitter about how her life turned out after getting pregnant in high school, and convinced herself I was the favorite child who got everything handed to him. Never mind that our parents had bent over backwards, helping her raise her kid while I paid my own way through everything. 2 days after they came for boxes, I walked into my office and noticed immediately. My work laptop was gone. Company property, $1,500 machine with client data on it. Always sat on my desk next to the monitor. Not there. I searched the entire office. Under the desk, behind furniture, checked every drawer. Nothing. Soraya was here 2 days ago. Only other person with access to this house. I called her. She answered. What? Where's my work laptop? Silence. Then, what laptop? The company one. It was on my desk. Now it's not. You were here. Where is it? I don't know what you're talking about. Soraya, that's company property. If you took it, bring it back now. I didn't take anything that wasn't mine. A laptop with my employer's name stamped on it isn't yours. Bring it back. Then I guess you have nothing to worry about. She hung up. I stood there. She'd just stolen company property. This was deliberate, calculated. She wanted to hurt me. I called my attorney first, left all the details in a message. Then I called company security, explained my work laptop was missing, and I believed my soon-to-be ex-wife took it during her visit. The security guy told me to file a police report immediately. This was theft of company property. I dialed the non-emergency line, gave them all the information. Officer said someone would be by within the hour. While I waited, I pulled up my security camera footage. System I'd installed last month covering the driveway and front door. Scrubbed through the timeline from her visit. There was Soraya arriving with Greta, going inside, coming out 40 minutes later with boxes. Soraya was carrying something under one of those boxes. Couldn't see it clearly, but the timing matched. Patrol car showed up. Officer took my statement. I showed him the office. The texts confirming Soraya was here. The call recording where she dodged my questions. The security footage. What's the laptop worth? $1,500 retail. But it's company property with confidential client information. You want to press charges? My employer will want to press charges. He filed the report. Told me a detective would follow up. After he left, I emailed my boss in security. Attached the police report number. Explained what happened. Monday morning, 5 days after discovering the laptop was missing, I was in my boss's office at 8 sharp. Security and legal were already there. 3 people in suits looking grim. I explained everything. The missing laptop, the police report, the security footage. Legal jumped in. This laptop had client data on it? Yes. Project files, client contact information, some proprietary logistics planning software. Everything required for my current accounts. Was it password protected? Yes. But if she had time and motivation, passwords can be bypassed. Security guy leaned forward. This is a serious breach. We're talking potential exposure of confidential client information. If any of that data gets out, we're looking at lawsuits, loss of contracts, reputation damage. My boss rubbed his temples. What's our policy on missing devices? Legal answered. Any missing device with client data is treated like a potential data breach until proven otherwise. That means legal, security, and law enforcement get involved whether we like it or not. My boss nodded. We need that laptop back. Today. Legal nodded. We're filing our own police report. Pressing charges. Company property theft is a felony in this state when the value exceeds $500. Your laptop's worth $1,500 plus the data it contains. We're making this official. The security guy was already on his phone. I'm calling the detective assigned to your case. We're going to apply pressure from the corporate side. Let them know this isn't just a domestic dispute. This is criminal theft with potential trade secret violations. They spent the next hour coordinating, calling law enforcement, documenting everything, making copies of my security footage, getting statements from me about what the laptop contained and who had access to what. By Tuesday afternoon, a detective from the fraud division called me directly. We've contacted your wife's attorney, made it clear this is a serious matter. Company's involved now. If that laptop's not returned within 72 hours, we're moving forward with criminal charges. Grand theft. Possible computer crimes charges if we find evidence she accessed the data. Your company's making noise about trade secret violations too. What did her attorney say? A lot of backpedaling. Said they're trying to locate the laptop. That there must be some misunderstanding. Standard deflection. But the clock's ticking. 72 hours. Next day, my attorney called with an update. Police contacted your wife's attorney yesterday. Made it clear this is escalating fast. Her attorney called me this morning. They want to settle everything immediately. Drop all disputes. She keeps her personal items, you keep the house. They're trying to make this disappear before the criminal charges hit. Here? What did you tell them? That we'll consider settlement only if the laptop comes back undamaged and your company's IT department confirms nothing was compromised. If there's any damage, any evidence of data access, any indication she tried to get into those files, charges proceed regardless of any settlement. Good. I'll communicate that to them. The 72-hour deadline was hitting in less than 24 hours when there was a knock at my door. 4 days after she took it. Right up against the wire. I looked through the peephole. Soraya standing on my porch holding my work laptop. Face blotchy and red. Eyes puffy. Looked like she'd been crying for hours. Greta was in the car at the curb with the engine running, ready for a quick getaway. I opened the door, didn't say anything, just stood there waiting. Soraya shoved the laptop at me like it was radioactive. Here, take it. I took it carefully. Examined it for damage. Screen looked intact. Case wasn't cracked. Did you try to open it? No, I swear, I didn't even turn it on. It's been sitting in my car the whole time. Good, because if you did, my company's pressing charges anyway. It's going to go through this machine with a microscope. If they find any evidence you accessed files, attempted to bypass security, anything at all, you're getting charged regardless of giving it back. Her jaw clenched, hands balled into fists. I can't believe you're threatening me with jail over a laptop. It was a stupid mistake. I grabbed it without thinking. I was angry and upset and not thinking clearly. You stole from my employer. That's a felony. Actions have consequences. Maybe you should have thought about that before you decided to hurt me by taking company property. She looked like she wanted to scream. I wasn't thinking about consequences. I was hurt. You filed for divorce. You threw me out. I wanted to hurt you back. It was stupid, and I know that now, but I wasn't trying to commit a crime. And yet here we are, with you facing felony theft charges because you let your emotions override your judgment. Are we settling this divorce or not? If this laptop checks out clean with my company's IT department and you sign the settlement agreement, yeah, we're done. Otherwise, you deal with the criminal justice system. She nodded slowly, looked at the ground. I'm sorry for all of it. The party, the laptop, everything. I know you don't care, but I need to say it. You're right. I don't care, we're done. She turned and walked back to Greta's car. Didn't look back. I watched them drive away before closing the door. Called company security immediately. They sent someone that evening to retrieve it. Next day, IT called back. Laptop was clean, no files accessed, no tampering. Company decided not to pursue charges since property was returned undamaged. They noted it in my file but let it go. That afternoon, my attorney called. Settlements finalized. She signed everything. You keep the house. She keeps what she took. No spousal support. Judge reviews it Friday, but it's essentially done. Done. 4 years, finished. And I didn't feel anything except relief. The weeks after the settlement were interesting in the way watching dominoes fall is interesting. Not dramatic, just inevitable. Word got around through mutual friends. Most were cautious at first, testing which side to land on. I kept it simple. Told them we grew apart. Wanted different things. Didn't trash her publicly. Truth had a way of coming out on its own. One friend, Travis, called me directly. Said Soraya had reached out trying to get him to convince me I was making a mistake. He'd shut her down. Apparently, she got upset and told him I was controlling, that I'd isolated her from friends. Travis laughed. Said anyone who knew us could see she was the one who kept me at arm's length. Through Travis, I found out Soraya was having problems at work. The party incident became office gossip. People saw me correct her story about our marriage being fake. Her credibility was shot. She got moved to a different project team. Apparently, management felt she'd created an uncomfortable workplace situation. She was also couch surfing. Couldn't afford her own place on one income. Bouncing between friends' couches and spare rooms. Asked Travis if she could stay with him and his girlfriend. He said no. My mom called. She'd heard about everything through Greta. Asked if I was being too hard on Greta for helping Soraya move her stuff. I explained what Greta did. How she'd sided with Soraya without ever asking my side. How she'd enabled Soraya's behavior. Mom went quiet. Said she understood. That Greta had always struggled with accountability. Around 3 weeks after the divorce finalized, things started getting messy for other people. About 4 weeks after everything settled, my phone rang. Unknown number. Almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello? It's Greta. Her voice was shaking, crying. I paused. Hadn't heard from her since the divorce went through. What? I need your help, please. You have to help me. With what? Soraya stole my credit card and maxed it out. $12,000. She opened accounts in my name too. Store cards, online credit lines, department store financing. I can't afford any of this. She blocked me. Won't answer my calls. Changed her number. Please help me find her. Please help me get my money back. I leaned back in my chair. Let the silence hang there for a few seconds. Call the police. I already did. Filed reports with 3 different departments. They said I need to file fraud reports with every single credit bureau. Freeze my credit. Dispute each charge individually with each company. File affidavits. Get police reports for each account. It's going to take months to sort out. Maybe years. The credit card company wants payment now, or they're reporting me delinquent. My credit score already dropped 90 points and it's still falling. Collections agencies are calling. I'm drowning here. Please. She was sobbing. I hate her. I was so wrong about her. You were right about everything. She's a terrible person, and I should have listened to you from the start. Okay? Please. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for how I treated you, for taking her side, for calling you selfish and dramatic, for not listening when you tried to tell me what she was really like. I was wrong. You're my brother. I messed up. Please forgive me. Please help me find her and get my money back. No. Silence. Then, what? No. I'm not helping you. But I'm apologizing. I admitted I was wrong about everything. What more do you want from me? Nothing. I don't want anything from you. That's the point. How can you be this cold? I'm your sister. Your family. You picked her side. Called me selfish when I told you what she did. Defended her when she publicly humiliated me. Helped her move her stuff out of my house without once asking if I was okay. Now she burned you the same way she burned me. That's on you for not seeing it coming. I was just trying to be supportive of her. She seemed upset and alone. I thought I was helping someone going through a divorce. And now you're out $12,000 with identity theft and ruined credit on top of it. Those are consequences for bad judgment. Please, I'm begging. I'll do anything. Just help me track her down and get my money back. You know how to find her. You know how to make her do things. No, she was your wife. You know how to deal with her. You got her to return that laptop. You made her sign the settlement. You know how to apply pressure. Ex-wife. And I dealt with her by cutting her off completely and using legal pressure through attorneys and police. You should have done the same thing the minute you realized she stole from you. I can't believe you're doing this to me. I'm not doing anything. Soraya did this. I'm just not cleaning up her mess. She was crying harder. Please, I'm desperate. Not my problem. You're my brother. And you sided with her over me. Made your choice. Live with it. I hung up. The satisfaction was cold and complete. Not just cutting Soraya off, watching everyone who sided with her learn exactly who she was. Watching them come crawling back. And saying no. Cold. Final. Exactly how they'd treated me. Greta texted me over the next week from different numbers. Begging. Apologizing. Promising to be a better sister. I read them all. Didn't respond to any of them. Just let them sit there. 2 weeks later, I heard through Travis that Soraya had disappeared. Stopped answering calls. Changed her number. Greta filed police reports, but Soraya hadn't technically committed a crime that warranted an arrest warrant. Just civil fraud. Greta was stuck dealing with creditors and lawyers on her own. Travis also told me Soraya finally found a place. Tiny studio apartment on the rough side of town. She was splitting it with 2 roommates to afford rent. Real roommates this time. Not the fake kind she told people I was. 6 months after the divorce finalized, I was doing better than I'd been in years. Got promoted at work with a 20% raise. Started hitting the gym 5 days a week. Best shape of my life. The house was completely mine. Repainted everything. Bought new furniture. Made it my space. I wasn't looking for anything serious. Just living. Occasionally meeting someone for a night or two. Keeping things casual. No strings, no drama. That's when Soraya started texting from random numbers, since I'd blocked her original ones. Heard you're doing well. Good for you, I guess. I've been thinking about us a lot lately. I blocked each new number. She got another one. This went on for 3 weeks. Then one Saturday evening around 7, I was at the house making dinner when my doorbell rang. Wasn't expecting anyone. Had steaks marinating. Potatoes in the oven. Glass of iced tea on the counter. Opened the door. Soraya standing on my porch. Holding a fancy shopping bag from some expensive store downtown. She was dressed up like she was going to a nice restaurant. Hair done professionally. Makeup perfect. New outfit. Smiling nervously like she was on a first date. Hey! I just stared. What are you doing here? I wanted to see you. To talk. I brought some things. Thought maybe we could have dinner together. Catch up. I know you're probably cooking something knowing you. She held up the bag. I brought sparkling cider and candles. The good kind. Thought we could just talk like adults. See where we're at. No thanks. Please, just hear me out. I've been working on myself. Going through things. Processing everything that happened between us. I realize now how badly I messed up. How much I hurt you. How disrespectful I was. I want to make it right. I want to show you I've changed. Before I could respond, I heard footsteps behind me. I'd completely forgotten. There was someone here. Girl I'd met at the gym last week named Lena. She appeared in the hallway behind me wearing one of my shirts and nothing else. Hair wet from the shower we'd just taken together. Barefoot. Looking confused about who was at the door. Everything okay? The look on Soraya's face was absolutely priceless. Worth every penny I'd spent on the divorce attorney, and then some. Her mouth literally dropped open. The fancy shopping bag with the cider and candles slipped in her hand. Almost dropped it completely. Who is that? Soraya's voice cracked and went high-pitched. Someone I'm seeing, casually. I turned to Lena. Give me a minute? She nodded and headed back upstairs. Smart enough to read the room. I looked back at Soraya. Her eyes were watering. Mascara already starting to run a little. You moved on. You're seeing someone. It's been 6 months. I've been moved on since the day I filed. This isn't new. I thought maybe you were waiting, that eventually we could talk things through. Work on us. Figure things out. She stopped. Looked at the bag in her hand like she'd forgotten she was holding it. I brought candles and everything. Sparkling cider. Had this whole thing planned out. Was going to apologize properly. Show you I've changed. You don't get to decide when I'm ready to move on. That was your call when you lied about our marriage being fake. But we were married for 4 years. That has to mean something. It meant something until you decided it didn't. Until you told your coworkers I was your gay roommate. Until you called me pathetic and said you were stuck with me. What we had was you not respecting me. What we had was me finding out my wife didn't value our marriage. That ended it. She wiped her eyes, smearing her makeup. This is so humiliating. Standing here like an idiot with candles while you've got someone upstairs. Welcome to the club. Remember when you humiliated me in front of your entire company? When your coworker thought I was gay and available for shopping trips because you'd been lying about our marriage for a month? This right here is about 1% of what that felt like. I should go. Good idea. She turned to leave, stopped, turned back one more time, voice shaking. For what it's worth, I really am sorry. About everything. I didn't realize what I had until I lost it. You were good to me, and I treated you like garbage. I know that now. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I needed you to hear it. That's usually how it works. People don't appreciate things until they're gone. I know you hate me. I just want you to know I understand why. And I'm sorry. She walked to her car. Some beat-up sedan that wasn't the nice SUV she used to drive. Probably had to sell it to afford rent. I watched her drive away. Closed the door. Locked it. Lena was sitting on the couch looking amused when I came back inside. So that was your ex? Yep. She brought candles and sparkling cider. She did. That's awkward as heck. Very. You handled that pretty cold. She earned it. We went back to making dinner like nothing happened. Lena didn't ask more questions. Understood it wasn't her business. That's why she was there and Soraya wasn't. 3 weeks after that, Greta showed up at my door. I watched through the window as she got out of her car. She looked rough, tired, older than she should have at 42. I opened the door before she could ring the bell. Hey, her voice was quiet, almost defeated. What do you want? I'm still dealing with the credit stuff. It's been 7 months. My credit score is destroyed. I can't get approved for anything. I'm about to lose my apartment because they're raising rent, and I can't get approved for a new lease anywhere else with my score this bad. I leaned against the doorframe. And I need help. A loan. Just enough to cover the security deposit for a new place. I'll pay you back. I promise. No, please. I know I don't deserve it. I know I was awful to you, but I'm desperate. I have nowhere else to turn. Should have thought about that before you sided with Soraya. I made a mistake. One mistake. Are you really going to punish me forever? I'm not punishing you. I'm just not helping you. There's a difference. Her face crumpled. I'm going to end up homeless. That's unfortunate. How can you be this heartless? We're family. You made it real clear we're not family when it mattered. Now that you need something, suddenly we are? Doesn't work like that. I apologized. Multiple times. What else do you want from me? Nothing. That's the point. I don't want anything from you. And I'm not giving you anything either. She stood there staring at me like she couldn't believe what she was hearing. You've changed. No. I just stopped letting people walk all over me. Soraya ruined my life. Soraya showed you who she really was. You just didn't want to see it when I tried to tell you. I hate you. You've made that clear for about 15 years now. This isn't new. She turned and walked back to her car. Got in. Sat there for a minute. Then drove away. I closed the door. Went back to what I was doing. Didn't think about it again. The house was quiet. My space. My rules. No fake marriages. No toxic family members. No drama. Just peace. And that was worth everything. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.